Hey everyone, welcome back to map number 2 here of CLG versus Splyce. I am John JRT Supinarius, and we are gonna get going here with the pistol round on this map. Of course, CLG losing by a scoreline of 16-14, so they still have not secured their playoff spot. However, for Splyce, it's good news. They won one. They are now up to 30 points, but opening trades happening there. Mitch and Ricky getting those frags. Roka gets a second and a third coming in for Davey. Now a 4v2, make it a 4v1. Cutler still standing on the site, but Davey doing work with that USPS. 3 frags for him, and that's a great start for Splyce once more. What I wanted to say was Immortals got 16-0'd by Energy. That is extremely important for Splyce, of course, since that is the only team they have to get ahead of to avoid playing a relegation match. The only thing is, if Energy wins this next one, then Splyce still has to come out and finish 1 point ahead of them, which could mean a win, which will mean a win, of course, here on cash. Although Energy having some ping issues, sorry, not Energy, Immortals having some ping issues, so they could fall to Energy in that second map if they can't get things going. Drone waiting on this A site for the second round to get underway in terms of on FNS and Kusta. Ricky managed to creep up towards headshot and get Roka through the box, then flies around the corner, finds Davey with a 1-dig. Drone does find Ethan though, so now it's going to be a 3v2. Cutler and Ricky trying to spot out the last 3 members of Splyce, but Semphis gets the jump on Ricky, and then looking for the final frag on Cutler. Cutler finds Drone, but Semphis gets the final frag on Cutler. So Splyce do win that second round, but Counter Logic Gaming made a round of it. In either case, though, they are going to be on a full save here. Probably going to be only Glocks. P250 is bought for Ricky. Maybe Cutler will buy P250 as well. He does have enough, and Kusta as well. But Kusta typically will save for that op here in this round, and indeed he's going to do that. Not buying up anything. Couple of flashbangs, but that's going to be it for Counter Logic Gaming. It'll be interesting to see if they just decide to push out here and try to make a quick play, or play the time and maybe get Splyce to push towards them. Cutler gonna be going. Ooh, someone's saying rip stream. Hopefully everything's okay. In any case, now they're gonna make their execute onto the A site. Splyce does get 2. Drone and Davey gonna find Kusta and Cutler. Ethan goes down to Davey as well. Mitch getting Ricky, and that attempted push by CLG just fell by the wayside. Splyce gonna pick up their 3rd round victory, 3-0 in their favor. But here's the real buyout for CLG. They're gonna have those 5 AKs up and running. Kusta, he just was a little short of getting the op and chose to go with the AK instead. Good mobility for CLG though, even though they don't have that 1-shot kill potential of the op. They still have the AK. A little bit harder to get the 1-shot kill with that, but for these guys, not so much. Drone waiting here inside of Z. 1:34 remaining on the clock. CLG setting up. Looks like Cutler is going to head towards Squeaky, and the rest 3 of his teammates maybe going to get ready to come through a main, but kind of spread out right now, not really grouped up to get any type of execute going here. Our CLG, Cutler is just trying to pull some attention in his direction. Oh, what a wall bang by Semphis, finding Cutler through the Squeaky door, getting that initial frag, and CLG now short-handed. Just by a bit of luck, of course, on Splyce's side as well, but it's a good place to spray down. Ethan does trade it back, though, getting the frag on Semphis, and now that leaves Davey alone on the A side. He's going to get some reinforcements from Drone. He's going to come towards Truck, actually charge on towards the site here as the smoke blocks off the vision of CLG and Splyce. Ethan jumps on top of that red box. That's a risky play. You are exposed from pretty much every angle when you jump up there, but he did find 1 frag. Kusta gets 1 as well, and now it's a 3v2 in favor of CLG. Ethan spraying through the smoke. Roka coming from highway. Mitch over a Truck. Roka going to throw another smoke and try to take down Ethan, but Ethan double tap headshot on Roka, and Mitch, the last one standing, says, I'm out of here. Gonna save that AWP, and that'll be that. So going to be a first round victory here for CLG. 3-1 will be the scoreline inside of the chat. We have Skate saying, I hope Splyce will win, and Shadu says the same. So we got a lot of Splyce fans out there. Come on, guys. You have to want CLG to at least make it into the playoffs. If Splyce doesn't play a relegation match and CLG makes it into playoffs, we can all be happy in North America, I think. Two good teams staying in ESL Pro League, or at least, and one, of course, headed to the playoffs. Mitch going to head on to this site. 2-1-2 standard split here for Splyce on cash. FNS going to take the charge there on top of that box, and A main is drone getting ready to line up a flashbang, but decides to not throw it, save it for another time. He's just trying to pop right around this corner, jiggle peeking around that white box, get some information. Smoke's going to fade away now, but another smoke going to be thrown by FNS towards Z. Then a molly comes over the wall, and that's thrown into that vent area. I really do like that molly. No one playing there for Splyce right now, but it's a great way to get a little bit of space to push through mid. Semphis. The UMP 45 now next to these lockers. 3-1. The score. We're in round number 5. Counter Logic Gaming trying to come back here after falling early here, 3-0. CLG again taking their time on their CT side, on their T side. So the bomb is going to make its way to Sunroom. That is in the hands of FNS. Flashbang, gonna full blind Roka, but he's still got a good position here. Gets 2 frags with the CZ on Cutler and Kusta. And again, Roka doing work with limited hardware. Ethan falls to Davey, who peeks around the corner from default. Then Drone supports that push, or that peek I should say, by Davey. The frag on Ricky, and then finds the final one on FNS. So things unraveling there rather quickly for CLG. Again, taking their time trying to push in, but unable to do any real damage to Splyce. They even had Roka full flashed underneath the vent. They just couldn't hit their shots. Didn't look in the right direction when they fell down. So that's going to make it a scoreline of 4-1. Counter Logic going to be reset here. Not off to the start they were envisioning on cash. And going to be at the mercy, as mentioned, of Cloud9 and Luminosity if they don't find the 3 points here. Kusta and Ethan boosting over that smoke. Ethan probably can see towards quad there by that, with that boost, but of course no one really in that area for the time being. Semphis is actually going to rotate around here with his op and play towards quad. But knowing that smoke with a lot of unknowns there with that smoke thrown towards A main, so he just backed off. This is the right play, of course. And now Counter Logic Gaming going to fall back. I think Counter Logic Gaming are kind of outplaying themselves sometimes, just thinking a little bit too much in terms of where they're going to execute, and there it is. Roka finds FNS with the M4A4. Semphis gets the op, frag, and Davey sprays down Kusta. That leaves Cutler and Ricky. I think I combined both names, but they get 2 nice Deagle headshots. They're not out of this one yet. Cutler gets sprayed down through the wall, and now Roka's got a beat on him. He's just going to keep on tapping his M4A4 away towards Squeaky. 32 seconds left now for Counter Logic Gaming. B site is completely open, and this could be a very smart play here for Ricky. If you can get to that B site without anyone figuring out he's going in that direction, you get a free bomb plant. Still running around there. Oh no, he decides to go back towards A main. Oh, the B play would have been so smart, and he had time to do it. Of course, Roka rotated around there. Mitch finds Ricky coming out through A main, and now there's just no chance at all for CLG to get onto that site in time, and Davey ends their hopes completely with the AK frag. So that's going to be that 5-1 in favor of Splyce. A match pause called by CLG. Question in the chat: who won map 1? Splyce won map 1. 16-14 was the score there. If you weren't there to watch it, it was a close one. I mean, Counter Logic Gaming had a lead of, I think, 14-11 at one point, and Splyce just roared back and won 5 in a row, and that was that. So match pause coming in here for CLG. Going to be canceled pretty quickly. I think CLG just wanted to talk things over and make sure this buy doesn't go to waste. They want to get back into this one, pick up their second round, and end the momentum here from Splyce. Won't have that much money. They have been losing a decent amount of members each round, so their economy isn't exactly great. C9 still in it, says Eclipse. Indeed they are. If CLG loses this one, I think Cloud9 wins. still have a chance. Actually, do they have a chance? No, no. I think C9's eliminated Eclipse because they lost their first one. I think they needed to win both matches to make it into the playoffs. Someone may want to confirm my math there. In any case, Sempus going to boost his teammate into Shroud. Top of that box. And Davey going to fire away there towards Squeak. He does a lot of damage, but Cutler's the one who finds the first frag there on Splyce. Evening it out at a 4v4. Cutler takes a lot of damage in the engagement though. And Ethan's down to 28 as well. So two members very lit here for CLG. Going to make their push a little bit tougher. 1 minute on the clock for them to get going here. Again, taking their time, trying to make sure they don't make a mistake in their execute. Drone. Gonna throw a pop flash there. Really no reason, I mean, just to hold back CLG at that point. Davey and Drone stacked up on default. They're thinking about going back to B, but again, CLG just patiently waiting till the very last moments to make their execute. Here comes that smoke in. Blocks off the angle towards truck. Davey's trying to boost up on top here of the electrical box to find someone, and he does. Ethan goes down through that smoke. Drone finds Kusta, then sprays down Cutler as well. CLG, again, waiting and waiting to make their execute, but falling and dropping like dominoes as they go out there. FNS does find that frag on Davey, but Roka has a really good angle. It misses the shot. FNS comes back around. I'm not sure why he came back around. Could have gone for the bomb plant, got a bit of money in the accounts for his teammate. That smoke was supporting a plant at default. Didn't try to re-engage, and that was a mistake for him as Roka took him down. That's going to be a 6th round victory here for Splyce. 6-1, and yep, confirmed C9 are gone. As I thought, they cannot qualify anymore. Luminosity, on the other hand, they are still in it. They won in overtime 19-16. So they still have a chance to make the playoffs here. Roka sprays down not 1, not 2, but 3 coming into that B site. FNS, Ricky, and Kusta as victims. Then Mitch tries to get on the action as well. He finds 2 of his own, and Splyce win that one in less than 20 seconds. It is 7-1 in favor of Splyce. They are rolling. They're taking their momentum from the previous map, where they won 5 in a row to take it 16-14. And now here, they've won 7 of the first 8 on cash. Pretty much the same story as it was over on Train. Had a pretty commanding lead that CLG managed to chip away at. But you don't want to be playing from behind this often if you're CLG. You want to come out with a strong performance on cash, especially considering, like I said, statistically, this is their chance to win. 32.4% win percentage for Splyce. They've only won 12 times. 12 times out of 37 attempts on cash. And CLG just got to get it together here. Ethan flashing out there, gets the initial frag on Mitch. That's a good start there for CLG. There they go. Initial frag, making it a 5v4 man advantage now as they take mid control. Now they can come up highway, go through vents. They're a threat from anywhere on Splyce. So Splyce gonna have to check more angles as they're gonna try and regain some control here. Davey's gonna be around Z, looking to come out, maybe get a frag, and give his teammates a chance to peek around highway and get a trade. Again, 34 seconds left. Here comes the last second execute for CLG. Gonna have to make it perfect. Kusta does get the frag there. Here they come, finally executing and getting the kills that they need to. Drone, the only one on Splyce to get one on Ricky. Roka does chip in as well. He's the last one standing in a 1v4. He did do it on Train. We saw him get the 4 frags in a bomb site defense on the T side, but this time around, thinks better of it. Wasn't in the greatest of positions to pull it off, and he's just gonna save his AK, CZ75, HE grenade, defuse kit, and all that armor. So a ton of money in his hands, probably around, I'd say 4.5k, maybe 5k in terms of hardware. That's a good save. Granted, doesn't really need to, looking at the economy of his team. But I'm guessing Sempus probably would appreciate a drop there. I'm guessing Roka is going to buy up an M4A4 for his teammate and then keep the AK for himself. So, second round victory there for CLG. They are slowly but surely trying to make their way back into this. Exactly the same situation as was on Train. This time around, though, they are on the T side. Ethan gonna throw that HE right on over towards white box as a molly explodes in front of his face on boost. So no boost coming in. Actually, interestingly enough, Counterlogic Gaming hasn't boosted over mid once. I don't think they've had the op to do so, but here's FNS spraying through that smoke, desperately hoping that something connects, and it does. Drone does fall, trying to push up aggressively there towards mid. Another molly thrown towards boost, but that does not hit its mark and is a wasted molly on that. Kusta and Ethan gonna try and clear out A main. No one's actually there. No one on A at all for Splyce. Can't believe they'd let it expose, but they do have an excellent opportunity to get a flank. Davey gonna boost up here to try and get up behind CLG. They know they take their time way down to the last 30 seconds. And this is such a perfect play by Davey. If he can get the initial one, he cannot. FNS finds him, and that is huge for Splyce. Now the A side is completely open. Flank is gonna maybe come around from Mitch, but I think he's just going to have to back off and support the A site. Sempis gets caught up from Ethan. There we go. First time they used boost. It was effective for not only one, but two frags. Roka still on that B site and still a threat. Gets Rikke. Ethan and FNS will be doing all the fragging this round. Still up and running. They have 4 frags combined. Roka, again, the last man standing. This time the save will be a little more important for him. FNS going to get the free plant on A. And I don't think Roka's going to have anything to do with this bomb plant. He's probably just going to back off, head on over towards T-spawn, look for some cheeky exit kills. And that'll be that for him. So round 10, going to go to CLG. They've managed to string together 2 rounds in a row. So all hope is not yet lost for them. Could still secure that playoff spot. But man, not the best of ways to end the season. I mean, they've lost 4 of their last 5 maps. If they lose this one, it'll be 5 maps lost in a row. And it'll also mean that they're very exposed to Luminosity Gaming, who could bump them out of the playoffs if Immortals, or sorry, is it Energy, beat Immortals. Which looks like it's a likely scenario. They've already won the first one. I think, yeah, actually, I think Energy's already ahead of CLG. In any case, back to this match, 11th round of play. CLG do have 2 rounds in a row. Roka will boost it up. I love this boost. See right on into Sunroom, and you can catch someone up pretty easily if they go on in there. Ricky looks like he wants to get out there, and yep, Roka is going to get that easy frag on him. Great boost for Splyce to find that opening frag. .5v4 now. As a smoke and a pop off towards B main. CLG is pretty scattered across the map at this point. I think they're going to try and regroup and regain control of the bomb, which was dropped there by Ricky when he went down inside a Sunroom. No one's watching it anymore, so of course they don't know that, but they're going to try and go in and get it. They will. They're going to drag that back likely towards mid or A. Who's already pushed up through mid here? Look at this. Ethan already pushed up. Drone does not know he's here. That could play in Ethan's favor. He's going to have to engage with Davey before that happens. Yep, there's Drone coming around the corner. Doesn't get fragged and gets a couple of shots in on Ethan. Ethan down to 69. He gets flashed, and then Drone with the easy frag. So that's 2 for Splyce. Well executed for them. And Counterlogic Gaming now finally regrouped towards A main, but it's perhaps too little too late. There's 3 members of Splyce waiting on that site to greet them. A good nade thrown and a great molly thrown. Excellent use of utility, and CLG punished for waiting so long to get their XQ going. Now only 17 seconds left. They have to rush it. Sempis waiting in the corner. Finds a 2K spread down. Looking for the 3rd. Excellent flashbang thrown in support of this little push into A main. And Kusta falls easily to the CZ of Davey. I mean, honestly, Splyce has outplayed CLG. They deserve every round that they've won. It's just been an impressive performance for them, at least here on Cash. They've gotten their 8th round victory, secured at least a victory in this first half. And terms of rounds. CLG, again, trying to claw back, make this one a little bit closer. Sempus with an aggressive push here towards B main, hits the opening frag, then flicks towards Ethan as well. That is a great 2K by Sempus. That's a 5v3 here, and CLG gonna lose another one. Drone with the touchdown on Kusta right after Kusta found Drone. That was actually a kill from the grave there. That's an excellent A. Davey waiting right around the corner of this red box on A, finds 1 and 2. Cutler and FNS going down. Splyce just picking apart CLG 1 by 1. 9-3 is now the score. Heading into round number 13, another match pause coming in here by CLG. Their economy is just in tatters. Their confidence likely shattered as well, as Splyce have a pretty commanding lead. I mean, it is only 6, but in terms of execution, confidence level, and just general fragging ability, Splyce has been the superior team here. No doubt in my mind. And you're looking at the scoreboard, there are Rokia and Davey. I mean, again, at the top there, 14-4 and 12-5. These guys are absolutely on fire. And Drone as well was playing well, I think, in that first map. So just great work from Splyce. We'll see if CLG can come back, though. Try and prevent at least this 10th round victory from coming in. They have 3 rounds left to try and do something, but, I mean, they're not going to have much to work with here. Just Glocks. Maybe a flashbang. Yeah, Kusa's going to have that flashbang, and FNS is going to get one as well. So FNS and Kusta be there with their team, and CLG again looking like they're going to take their time trying to make this execute. Drone spraying down with his AK right on through to mid. And there's CLG. They just come on through that smoke, trying to flash themselves out. Sempus finds 1, then 2. Sempus is playing really well with the op here on Cash. It is just an eco round, but we've seen him do work in the previous rounds. Roka going to get that 2K spray down on Cutler and Kusta, and that will be that. Splyce does indeed secure their 10th round victory. Here we sit at 10-3 overall. 2 rounds remaining in this second half of action, guys. CLG could fall out of the playoffs if things go against them in terms of wins by the teams below them. FNS and Ricky working their way towards this B site here. As Ethan going to get the headshot over on Sempus to open up the round for his team, 5v4. It's good to see Splyce playing this well, honestly. Like I said, I think they're an underrated team. I think that they have the potential to be a lot better than they are. All of their members at probably a rating of 1 or above after that first map victory there against Counterlogic Gaming. And their KDR is great too. They're a solid team, a lot of talent. They just have to mesh, come together. And it looks like that's slowly but surely happening for them. Kusta with the AK inside of A main. In this 4v4 scenario, CLG desperately trying to find a round here, but a wide peek from Drone pays off there towards A main. Kusta not expecting it, and now a 4v3. FNS, Cutler, and Ricky gonna try and regroup here. But it just seems like throughout the entire first half that CLG's been spread out across the map. They're trying to find the opening frag, but then when it doesn't happen, they kind of seem unsure as to what to do or where to go. Now Roka just going to get the frag over on FNS as he tries to get onto that B site and then finds Ricky as well. They've challenged Roka again and again this half, and Roka's won every single time. Davey going to get the headshot over on Cutler, and that'll be that. 11th round victory there for Splyce. 11-3 overall. And Splyce looking for their 12th round victory. CLG's going to have an excellent CT side to get back into this one. Splyce, if they win 12 and then they come back and win pistol round on T side, it's going to be a tall order for CLG to win. Drone Jumping up here towards the boost. Oh, that's a great play for him. He's going to spot out Kusta and Ethan, looking for more, but now FNS finds the headshot on him. But the good part about that is even though Drone had an AK and it dropped down, it's going to drop down on his side of mid. So Mitch is going to have to, he's going to have the advantage if anyone tries to push out and pick it up. He does get FNS. Ricky finds a pushing Roka and Semphis. Bit of a miscue there by Splyce. They still have 2 members up and running. It's going to be a 2v2. Cutler's going to have a gun that'll be able to pick up from all that mayhem. So pretty even Steven here. Mitch, 82 HP. Ricky, 73. Davey and Cutler both have 100. And full armor on both sides. It's going to come down to the execute by CLG and where they decide to go. A site's completely open at this point. 49 seconds remaining. They head on into A slowly. They can just walk into A main at this point. Of course, they don't know no one's on A main, but if they do decide to do that, it's absolutely the right play. The only thing is, Mitch could pop around the corner from highway and come back pretty quickly, and indeed, he's going to do that. Ricky makes some noise, and now they've been heard. Davey is going up on the flank. They get the quick frag on Mitch. This could give them the opportunity to win the round. They don't spot him out. Now Mitch can walk his way around there and catch Cutler off guard. He does. Cutler saw him at the last second. Oof. That is lucky for Cutler that he got to cover in time. Though Davey still standing, does spray down Cutler and throws the molly. That could kill Cutler. Well, one or the other. Either the M4 or the molly. Then Ricky down to 7. I think Davey ran out of bullets there. He's going to jump maybe on top of the box. Nope, just goes right through the molly. Why not? Take all the damage, get the frag. Excellent play by him, and that's going to be a 12th round victory for Splyce, even with CLG in the 2v1. Still unable to pull it off. Davey shaking his head. No, sir, says Davey. 12th round victory for Splyce. 12-3 here at the half. It is just dominance by Splyce against CLG. CLG going to have to get their act together here in this second half on CT side and really put on a show to come back into this one. It all starts with a pistol round, though. Guys, I am John, JRT Supinarius. I do hope that you're enjoying the stream and the cast. If you are, please hit me up with a follow over on Twitter at JRTTV. That's at JRTTV with 2 E's at the end. So we're going to wait to get started here in the second half. Cloud9 is no longer a threat to CLG. They lost their first match. They are out. However, Luminosity winning their first match in OT 19-16. It is only 2 points, but still, it gives them a chance to take CLG's spot in the playoffs if they win this next one. Maybe if you guys have a score update in the chat, that would be really awesome. Please post that there. As I'm really interested to know how Luminosity is doing. Also Immortals, because that impacts Splyce. So we're still waiting to get started here. Looks like Splyce's coach had to disconnect, so we're going to probably wait for him to come back in here. Looking at the overall points for CLG, they have 42 now. And yeah, Cloud9 had 38. They lost, so they're done. They can't catch up to CLG. Energy won, though, but that was in, I think, yeah, no, it was regulation. So they have 44 points. They've jumped over Counter Logic Gaming. And if CLG manages to come back and somehow win this match, they will leapfrog Energy, and their spot is absolutely secured. But if they lose this one, and Luminosity, which is now at 40 points, wins, they will take CLG's spot, and CLG will be out of the playoffs. What a horrible turn of events this will be for CLG. Oop. My notes falling down there. There we go. Pick that up. 11-5 for Luminosity. Wow. That is just a ton of bad news for CLG. So with Luminosity winning their match so far, not done yet. They're in the lead. Still a chance for them to make the playoffs. Immortals have lost 16-4. Yeah, those ping issues, they just couldn't overcome them. So that means that no matter what happens here, Splyce has indeed secured their spot in ESL Pro League. They won't even have to play a relegation match. I think they can breathe easier. I wonder if their teammates have their coach communicated that to them to let them know, hey guys, you can relax a little bit, enjoy the match. And maybe that sense of relaxation has allowed them to come out pretty strong here. A lot more confidence. There's the Splyce coach rejoining the server now. LG1 pistol. GG, says Rodrigo in the chat. But here we go. Second half of action. CLG has a very tall hill to climb to prevent Luminosity from taking their spot in the playoffs and forcing them into a 7th place finish in the NA division of ESL Pro League. This is Counterlogic Gaming up against Splyce. I am John JRT Supinarius, and here we go. Round number 16 is underway. CLG going to send 3 members over to B. Kusta, playing inside the checkers with his teammate. And he's actually going to push up towards B. Main Cutler going to cover his flank. Or more so support him. All of Splyce lining up for this A hit. 3 men coming through Squeaky, and they just get torn apart by FNS and Ethan. Semphis and Davey, the last 2 standing, do manage to clear out the A site, so they will at least ensure themselves of the bomb plant here. But Cutler, Rikke, and Kusta have a very feasible retake. Rikke trying to spot out Davey, who's going to jump over that box gate. Rikke now knows that Davey's around quad, but Davey makes a smart move, exposes himself, then backs away. It's not going to help him much, though, as Rikke and Kusta spray him down, and CLG will indeed win this very crucial pistol round, and they're going to get to 4 rounds here. Lots of people cheering on Splyce in the chat. I've seen a lot of Splyce fans today, but not many CLG fans, which surprises me. I like CLG. I like both these teams. Wish nothing but the best to both of them. But right now, Splyce just outplaying CLG. So now Rikke going to go out onto this B site. And he's going to spot out Davey and Roka. Gonna go down to a headshot there from Rikke. 2 M4s bought up here for CLG. Now it's going to be a 5v4. AK dropped for Semphis there, because Semphis has the armor. Strategic play there by Splyce. 1:15 remaining for the XQ to come in. Splyce have 1 member pushing towards mid, that's Drone, and now Semphis is going to join him as well. Going to try and get some mid control here. Kusta is playing towards Z, and they have 2 members on A for CLG. Oh, that's a great jiggle peek by Semphis, waiting patiently for Rikke to pop his head up and headshot. Gets that, then follows it up with a frag on Cutler. Semphis doing work on this B side, clearing it single-handedly. Now Kusta's coming to reinforce, spots out Davey, but it's still a 3v3 with Splyce having site control on bomb site B. Bomb gets planted. Now Semphis going to fall back into B main. Splyce just waiting patiently for CLG to go for this retake. Kusta does spot out Semphis and still manages to spray down through the smoke. Finds Mitch as well. Kusta with the 3K going for 4 here against Drone. But Drone almost gets 2 lined up. Finds a second one. Ethan and Kusta go down. What were they doing? Lining up for him easily. Now they're going to go for the defusal. FNS is sticking it. I don't know why he is. What is CLG doing here? They're going to fall to Splyce's eco round. And they are now down 13-4. What were they thinking? Stacking up 3 people in there towards headshot. Those were easy frags there for Splyce. And now 13-4 in Splyce's favor. We're heading into round number 18. The bye not anywhere close to what CLG was hoping for here. Drone jumping over that red box, looking at whatever he can find towards mid in terms of information. CLG looks like they're playing a standard 2-1-2. Davey gets the initial one on Kusta, but that's traded out by FNS. 4v4. CLG trying to eco Splyce right on back. And that's Splyce taking their time in the chat. What is avoiding regulation? The bottom team in ESL Pro League is automatically regulated to MDL. The next 2 teams, I think it's 12th and 13th place, have to play a match against the top MDL team as Mitch gets the frag there. I'll finish explaining after this. FNS goes down. 4v3. Splyce going to try and make their execute into the A site. But yeah, the 12th and 13th place teams have to play a relegation match against the top MDL teams. Cutler going to get that frag on Mitch. If the teams lose from ESL Pro League, the ones that were going to get relegated, they go down to MDL, and the teams that beat them go up to ESL Pro League. Ricky with a nice one dig though on Roka. So CLG still in this one. Now Drone going to fake the plant. Going to get it down here, but CLG doing work on their eco, finding 3 on Splyce. Drone and Semphis still have those AKs in hand, a little bit of utility, 4 flashbangs, and a molly. Drone pops out around truck, gets the headshot on Ricky, falls back, and still sprays down Ethan, even though he was falling back and went down to 16 HP. Semphis cleans up the mess. That's Cutler coming on through, and that's going to be a 14th round victory here for Splyce. 14-4, and they absolutely deserve to win here, in my opinion. CLG's been outplayed. 10-round cushion for them, and Roka's just spinning around in spawn. You can tell a team is feeling good and confident when their players start goofing around a little bit in subtle ways. Another match pause coming in here from CLG, more than likely. Tigrenet agreeing there. That Splyce is playing really well. All right. So we're just waiting for this 19th round of play to get underway, and freeze time will indeed be canceled there. CLG forcing up here again. Their backs against the wall, trying to avoid that OT. They want the 3 points, not 2. Need to win this one in regulation. I was going to say relegation. In any case, Splyce going to charge in 4 members, going to take control of B main. Cutler peeks around that corner and gets his head taken right on off. So Cutler's now down. B site has been exposed, and Splyce just going to flood on in there and hold on to those angles. Kusta going to come from heaven here and wait out that molly, while Ethan is coming to flank all the way around towards mid, and that mid garage frag from Ethan could be important. He's going to pick up an AK for his efforts. 4v4 now, but the bomb is ticking down, and there's no defuse kit on the side of CLG. Kusa does get one, so does Ethan. Now it's a 3v2, but Drone still standing behind that smoke, manages to get Ricky, even though he got digged and then gets a second, maybe a third on Kusta. No, but what an effort there by Drone, helping his team come out with the round victory, and Roka again sealing it off. 15 round victories in favor of Splyce. 15-4 now. How many match points? 11 match points for Splyce. Wow. So Splyce, I mean, CLG's been forcing up every single round, so their economy is anything but good, and they're going to have to force up here. Look at this mix by 2 scouts, a CZ, and 2 UMP-45s. I honestly think it'd be better to go with like 3 UMP-45s instead of 2 scouts, but we'll see if they can make it work. Drone gonna fly on in there. Ethan does tag him a little bit. Now Ricky gets the kill with the scout. So that's 1 there for CLG, and then a second. I'm gonna end up eating my words, I think, very shortly. CLG still not out of the gutter yet. Davey gets Kusta. Now Semphis finds Ethan. 3v3, make it a 3v2. Splyce is gonna go for this one right here, right now. Cutler and FNS gonna have to pull off some excellent play in order to win this round. Splyce, A-side control, now holding down the angles. 1 at quad and 1 playing over on top of the rafters here. Semphis gonna get full flash, but FNS doesn't look towards him. Now he's gonna jump down, get an easy frag on FNS, who's not gonna expect him. Cutler, the last one standing, he is gonna fall here. This is Splyce coming out with an unbelievable 16-4 victory against CLG. So CLG now exposed in every way possible in terms of the playoffs. They lost both matches, they sit at 42 points, and Luminosity just has to win their final match, and they're in it. They will knock CLG out of a playoff spot. So it all comes down to how Luminosity plays, and they are looking like they were on a bit of a roll there. I think they might be winning their match still, if they haven't won it already. Oh, what a shame for CLG, but impressive performance by Splyce. They get 2 important victories, they avoid the relegation match, and they move up to 11-15 to finish their season. So they're going to stick inside of ESL Pro League, and I think they deserve to be there. This team, I highly suggest you watch Splyce next season. I think they're going to perform a lot better as they continue to mesh and their chemistry continues to get better and better. All right, guys, so I have been John JRT Tsupanarias casting this match. And if you guys are interested in following me, please hit me up on Twitter at JRTTV with 2 E's at the end. I would really appreciate the support that you guys give me. That'll be that. I will be signing off for the night. It's been a long day, but again, final score on these 2 maps. First map was 16-14 in favor of Splyce. That was on Train, and then 16-4 on Cash, a map that Splyce had only won 12 times in 37 attempts prior to this. This is only their 13th win on Cash, whereas CLG, throughout their history, have 47 wins here. The stats indicated this would go completely in the opposite direction, but Splyce